Hello. Years ago, I used to work in a pub. Well, it was a working man's pub club, which is basically a pub for the working class. There are a few customers that are really stick in my mind. One was a middle-aged guy who was obviously an alcoholic. He used to turn up at 10:30 at night, order 4 pints of beer, and he'd drink the first two or three as I was pulling them. He'd just down them. I always noticed his hands were shaking as he's getting them. He'd been to work all day. I imagine he's just been living for that moment where he can finally have a beer. And his last beer took him about half an hour, and he drank that before closing time. I bet that weren't the last alcohol he had that night. He's the only real alcoholic that stuck in my mind. There was another, an older lady. Older. She was clearly a pensioner. She was a bit of a mess. It's like her hair was just all over the place, and she'd obviously had a breast removed and had like a fake chicken fillet 'cause it was sticking out of a low cut top. This like fake boob. I don't mean like an implant. I mean like an actual piece of plastic in the shape of a boob that you can just pull out. One day she was barred because she got so drunk she pissed herself and ruined the seat. Another customer I remember is a young guy, who's only about 17, 18. Well, hopefully 18, so she'll not serve a 17-year-old. But he used to come in and order like some Alco Pops, in case you don't know, they're like fruity alcoholic drinks. And he used to pay with an envelope, and in an envelope was like £10, had his money on it. And nearby there was a local hospital for mental health. I think they'd give him spending money. I'm not sure he was supposed to come and spend it on booze, but he did anyway. But it was no trouble. And the other customer that really stuck in my mind was this older couple used to come in. They were pensioners, obviously like late 70s, 80s, and they had a mentally handicapped son. And the son was massive. He was like 6'8", maybe £300, and most of the time we were fine. But every now and again he'd just like lose his shit. He'd start breathing heavily, and one day he just grabbed somebody else by the throat, and he just wouldn't let go. He was strangling him, and all his mother were doing was, "Robert, stop it, Robert, Robert, calm down." Well, what else could you do with a guy that size? I mean, to be honest, I didn't feel like tackling him, but somebody else did. But then he just suddenly realised the incredible patience that woman must have to deal with a son that size and be that old and obviously still living with him. She could have shuffled him off to some sort of home somewhere, but she didn't. So, well, props to her for that. That's about it. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you another time.